Good morning. It is Monday. Welcome to episode 5 of Mindset Mastery. I believe that we are launching a minute late, so my apologies. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Today is Super Bowl Monday, and this is how we're going to launch into this program. And my intention is for this program to be the most impactful, the most powerful we have had yet. We've been having such a good time getting together every Monday and building a tribe of highly motivated leaders, men and women who are committed to excelling. This is really about living an extraordinary life, an extraordinary life with minimal resources and during really, really challenging times. So thank you for joining me, whether you are coming in live, whether you are coming in later. I am William Poett. I am the author of the ABCs of Peak Performers. I am your host. I am your guide. I have spent over 30 years studying, training, working with the most powerful men, women, teams, and organizations on earth, from members of special operations teams to Fortune 100 companies to professional athletes. And there is Dr. Terry Stein. Welcome, my brother. Energy is everything. And when you guys pop in, I feel your energy. I feel your presence. And I am so excited about today's training. I've got some really, there is Ernesto Paredes. Funny story. I might or might not share about Ernesto, but just to have you guys with me this morning, I am so grateful. And if you just popped in, there is Kendall Scott. We got Team Rally showing up. There's Mary Beth Myers. Oh my God, this is like I literally have chills, because everyone that I can see is with me, and I know there's a bunch I can't see, are powerful individuals, really committed to showing up and shining. And, during really, really challenging times, there is Mike Schmidt. Boom, boom, boom. You guys are killing me in the best way possible. I'm going to take a second. I'm going to have a cup of coffee because I know there are more awesome people popping in. And again, thank you for your time. Thank you for your presence, and thank you for your energy, because as we discuss more in this training, our ability to show up and be fully present and fully engaged and fully connected can change the world. So I am super excited. I have a great, great, great training for you guys planned today. And I said, and I shared with you, this is Super Bowl Monday. And most of you guys are thinking, or you might be thinking, well, there's no such thing as Super Bowl Monday. There is to individuals with master's mindsets. And what I mean by that is the men and women who can really show up and really shine, the ones who move the needle for the world, the Mother Teresas, the Martin Luther Kings, the Tom Bradys, the Ernesto Paredes, the Dr. Terry Steins. They recognize that there is only one day in all of our lives that matters. There's only one day where we have the ability to impact. There's only one day where we can serve another person. There's only one day where we can create and experience joy, and that's today. And the difference between average performers and peak performers, the difference between the average mindset and mindset masters, is one of the core differences is a critical recognition that now is everything. Right now, right now, right now. And when you think of the quarterback who wins the Super Bowl, I want you to go to the first day of practice in your mind. And when they prepare to step on the field, it's not just another practice. They step on the field like it's the Super Bowl. And they carry that focus. They carry that narrow focus. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. They carry it with them every single day. And there is my brilliant partner, Dr. Lara CL, in the house. And so The average mindset is, well, and ask yourself, because we are all capable of and have been average on occasion. The average mindset is, well, I'm going to show up for the big events. I've got a really important client. I've got this critical client call at Wednesday at noon. This is $1 million deal. So I'll tell you what, Tuesday night, I'm not going out and partying until 2 a.m. Tuesday night, I'm going to lay my clothes out. I'm going to put my power outfit on. I'm going to get up early. I'm going to have a good breakfast. I'm going to set myself up so that when I walk into that appointment, that critical appointment, I'm on fire. That's the average mindset. When my wedding arrives, I'm going to show up and I'm going to be beautiful and I'm going to be in my ultimate grace and power. Those events are so few. And the critical events, the game-changing events are today, are right now. And so what I want you guys, I'm going to invite you guys as we continue in this journey together, is take a breath. And here's what's really cool. You can reboot at any time. You can reset at any time. I don't care if you operated with a less than optimized mindset yesterday or the week before, the month before. You can shift and you can change and you can grow. And I'm going to challenge and I'm going to invite you guys to take a breath. Today's game day. Today's the day where I get to move the needle. And I want you to think about this. Just do a little mind exercise. If you were to wake up and show up and shine and bring your best self to everything you did today, that might not change. In fact, it probably won't change the reality of your life. It's not going to change your bank account. It's not going to change your body. It's not going to change your core relationships. It's going to have a minimal impact on the external events. You will go to bed feeling better. But let's imagine you get up and you do it again tomorrow. And you do it the next day, and you do it the next day, and you develop a habit of doing this. You develop a habit of showing up as though every single day were the most important day of your life. You know what that's going to do to your body 6 months out? Do you know what that's going to do to your bank account 6 months out? Do you know what that's going to do to your core relationships 6 months out? And here's the magic. Here's the secret sauce. And I've been doing this work now for 30 years. One of the worst feelings in the world is feeling lost. I mean, like if you've ever done any backcountry travel, you suddenly recognize you don't know where you are. It can be terrifying. Well, that holds true in life. And to wake up and know that I'm not living my potential. I'm not showing up. I'm not shining. I'm not living my best life is really, really painful. But the beautiful thing about navigation is you can go from lost to found in a second. You can make one directional pivot and you can be back on course. And when you're back on course, it feels amazing. And so that's really the invitation to tell. I don't care if you're 30, 40, 50, 60. It's never too late. Another one of my mindset mantras is, if I am still breathing, if my heart is still beating, I am winning. And I want you to think about that. I want you to take that to heart. So if you guys are ready and willing, let's look at this idea of narrow focus. And I'm reading a great book. I'm probably going to misquote the title. I think it is Closer, Better. I'll share it on our page. Closer, Better. But it's a study of how vision and visualizing can change your outcomes. And in this book, this psychologist interviews peak performers in every endeavor. But really struck me as she was talking to Olympic medalists. And particularly in the distance events, in the marathons, and asking what they paid attention to, what they focused on. And she was wondering, are you focusing on winning the race? Are you focusing on what's happening around you? Are you focusing on the competition? And the universal answer was no. I'm looking ahead of me and I'm picking a target. It might be a racer. It might be a tree. It's an object that is directly in front of me. And I focus my energy on that and I drive to that. And then once I meet that, I focus my energy on that next. narrow target. And what this does is it brings their awareness and it brings their energy into this space where they can really have an impact. Because I can drive for 100 yards. I can push for 100 yards. And it's a small way of tricking our mind, which then changes our physiology into maximum performance. And I'm going to invite you guys to think about, for kind of this week's Mindset Mastery Challenge, think about bringing a more narrow focus into your life. I know you want more. I know you want more clients. I know you want more success, more love, more health, more energy, whatever that more is. And honestly, what we've learned in neuroscience is sometimes that can be overwhelming. If I am 40 pounds overweight, the idea of what it's going to require of me to really become in optimal shape can be overwhelming. It's like a Mount Everest. Well, I don't need you to do that. Today, I need you to eat a little bit better. I need you to move your body just a little bit more. If you can work out for 5 minutes, that is the biggest win imaginable. If we are at work and I make one more call or I complete one task, we're really looking to create more of a narrow focus. Spend less time worrying about next week and next month and kind of these overwhelming objectives, and really bring it down to today is my most important day. Today is my Super Bowl. How do I win today? What's that narrow focus? What do I know I can achieve? What can I get my mind directed to that's going to optimize right now? It's going to optimize this next hour, because we've all done it. We take out our list of goals and all the things we want to achieve and all the things we want to accomplish, and we might have a vision board, or we might have them written out somewhere. And honestly, depending on how you're feeling at any time, it can be overwhelming. And so part of this mindset mastery adventure that we're on is, how do you take that 1,000-mile journey and break it down into manageable bites? Laura and I just completed about a month ago the JMT, 220 miles from Yosemite to the top of Mount Whitney, 47,000 feet of vertical climb. It is a gnarly hike. You do it one day at a time. You really do it 1 hour at a time. The way we had it set up was we would hike for 50 minutes. We would take a break. And then sometimes I took longer breaks, but that is a story for a different time. But anyone can hike for 50 minutes. You can do that. It's manageable. Take a break, get up, do it again. Take a break, get up, do it again. Well, we averaged 12 to 13 hours of those narrow focus sections every day. And we completed the trail in 19 days, which is pretty good for those of us who are theoretically in the second half of our lives. And so that the ideas, the training, the challenge I have for you guys this week is today's a Super Bowl, narrow focus. And I've got one more idea for you. But if this resonates, if this makes sense, give me a yes. Let me know that you are here. And are you willing to, or you can give me a hell yes. Are you willing to, just for today, pull your energy in, harness your energy, harness your focus, and just, I want you to win today. I want you to identify 1 or 2 or 3 targets. And we recommend that they be fully integrated throughout your life. What's something you can do for your body today? What's one thing you can do for your body that you know is a win? That if you did this consistently every day, there's Lisa, right on, that would change your life. And what is something you could do professionally? What's one action you can take? What's one thing you can commit to? Not the things you have to do, but one thing that's going to move the needle forward. Just one. Do that. What is one? Terry Stein is 100% in. and okay, so that's going to cause, so you guys are in. I get it. That's why you're with me today. What's one thing you can do to improve the quality of your key relationships? Yeah, Mary Beth, God, you guys are so awesome. With a child, with a spouse. What's one thing you can do that's fun? Here's a crazy thing that we forget. What's one thing you can do today in the midst of the chaos, in the midst of the storm, that's fun? So these ideas that we're working on habitualizing, we'll talk about that a little bit later, are bringing a narrow focus into your life. If you're in a marathon, you're not thinking about the finish line. What's that target right in front of you? If your goal is to make $1 million, what's that target to bring you to that first sale? And what's one thing we can do today? What's one thing you can do today that's going to move the needle? And then the key is, the secret sauce is, you get up and you do it again tomorrow. And you get up and you do it again tomorrow. Because I will share this with you guys. Having been a performance executive coach for over 30 years, the number one missing ingredient in people's lives is consistency. You've got to do it over and over and over again. One of my favorite Bruce Lee quotes is, I don't fear the man who's done 10,000 kicks. I fear the man who has done one kick 10,000 times. Consistency, consistency, consistency. And you're going to start seeing results. And so here's the goal, right? 1%. 1%. Can you imagine, can you declare, can you define what it would look like to improve your life by 1% today? That might mean, hey, maybe you're not drinking enough water, so you drink 2 more 12 ounces of water. Maybe you missed the gym, so today you're going to take your dog on a 20-minute walk. What's that? Maybe you haven't brought your wife or partner flowers or a card for a while. What's that one thing that can improve your life 1%? And then we do it again tomorrow. We do it again tomorrow. We do it again tomorrow. Well, as a result of compounding interest over the course of a year, your life will improve 37 times. A 37x improvement in your life by having this narrow focus, by recognizing that today is the Super Bowl. And with that said, I want to talk for a moment to you team leaders out there. I was watching last week a CEO roundtable, and they had the CEO of Home Depot, General Electric, General Motors, really the leaders of the biggest companies in America. And they were talking about their forecast for 2023. And I'm sure you guys can imagine it is not a rosy forecast. Now, a CEO's job is to not freak out. That is their job. But I imagine if you could think in your mind's eye of these CEOs as being ducks on a pond. And you might know this story where on the surface, the ducks look really happy and they look really calm. But under the water, those little duck feet are going like this. And this is what's happening with the leaders, the economic leaders of our country right now. We're in the middle of a recession, high interest rates. We've got a workforce in turmoil. We have a working model in turmoil. Our supply chain is non-functional. I can go on and on and on with all the challenges. And if you are in a situation where you need to do more with less, that's right there on the bottom. How do we achieve more with less? I'm going to tell you right now, you've got to double down on your and your people's training. You've got to make sure that you are showing up, you as the team leader, in the best shape of your life. Physically, intellectually, emotionally, spiritually. If in order to achieve more with less, you have to become more. Bottom line, if you are going to expect more from your team and they are going to have fewer resources, maybe the team's going to shrink, maybe their budgets are going to shrink. Well, you are asking a physics impossibility to create more with less unless some dynamic in that relationship changes. It is possible. Here's the great, I know it. Decades ago, I got to work with members of our special operations team, a 12-person A team, an 8-man squad can accomplish more than 100 unfocused, lacking in power people. But what's the difference between a special operations team member and the average human? They are exponentially more. So here's another mindset shift. Today is the Super Bowl. I am the differentiator. Listen very carefully. I am the differentiator. I have a greater ability to impact my team, my company, my organization, my life than anything else. And we keep looking because it's hard to own that. It takes a lot of ownership. It's hard to do that. Man, what's that next software? What's that? Maybe if we rearrange our offices, maybe Microsoft Teams is going to come up with a new app that's going to really help us. No. Going back 3 weeks in our training, your ATR, your ability to respond as a team leader, your team's ATR, your team's ability to respond to the opportunities and challenges in front of them. So how do you become more? You train. You have to invest in training. And this is really what our company, 9Q Solutions, this is what we do. We have distilled, after studying thousands of leaders and organizations, 6 habits. There are 6 habits that peak performing leaders and teams embody and embrace on a daily basis. If you embed these 6 habits in your life, you will become optimized. You will become more. If you embed these 6 habits in your culture throughout your entire company and team, you will become more. Now, you don't have to hire us. We would love it if you did. But if you are going to ask more of your people, and you know that you are going to have fewer resources, or you know that you are moving into a really difficult or challenging environment, you have to become more. And so this is kind of the last concept in today's training. And I'm so glad you guys are with me. I love this time together. And I want to give a shout out to actually to Mike and Terry, because last week after the training, you guys shared this. And by sharing these videos and sharing these trainings, we are helping to uplift and we're helping to empower people who observationally need more help now than ever before. So let's start distilling it down. Let's start coming up with our training plan. Number 1, every day is the Super Bowl. What does that mean practically? Every day is the Super Bowl. That means that we have to develop some rituals. We have to develop some habits. We talk about in our course, which is featured on the Rally Change platform, which I've got some Rally team members here today. What's so exciting about this is my partner and I, Dr. Ciel, have created these incredible micro learnings that can be done anywhere, any place. So a team can learn these habits in about 20 minutes a week, and they can do it on their phone while they're sitting in traffic or a doctor's office. Great start. Oh, Karen, thank you. And in these micro learnings, we talk about an evening ritual. You got to set up. It's all about the setup. So in your mind's eye, if tomorrow was your wedding day, if tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. you had the $1 million client who's going to walk in your office, what would you do tonight? How would you set yourself up? And you answer those questions. And that means you're going to get a good night's sleep. It means you're going to have your outfit laid out. You're going to set things up. You're going to wake up. You're not going to rush out the door and spill coffee on yourself and be late for the meeting, right? You're going to set yourself up. And you can do this throughout the day. I talked about narrow focus. So again, in our training, and real quick, our habits, I can tell you, it's ready, check, set, go, reboot, and upgrade. Those are the 6 habits. Ready. Well, we teach you how to, what are the rituals and routines to make sure that at night and in the morning, you wake up the day prepared to win. What are the rituals and habits? This is the Super Bowl. Check. As you move throughout the day, see if you can relate to this. We have multiple sequences. I've got this meeting, then I've got this phone call, then I go to lunch with my partner, and every sequence, it's like a play in the Super Bowl. You need to be your very best. Well, sometimes plays go sideways. And the reason why coaches have timeouts and we have breaks in the play is we've got to reboot. We've got to check in. If things are going sideways, don't keep pushing harder. Don't keep doing more, right? And so learn how, systematize these little breaks. I talked about our John Muir Trail. Every hour, we took a break, checked our feet, had some food, drank some water, made sure we were ready for the next segment. So ready, check, set. Bring clarity to everything you do. When you walk into the room, when you have the number one frustration of all teams is these meetings are a waste of time. What's the intention? You set the intention. What's the greatest outcome we can co-create together? How do I make sure that the time we spend together is sacred and precious and valuable to everyone there? Ready, check, set. Reboot. What's a reboot? Well, a reboot, we teach these techniques for when life goes sideways, which will happen to all of us multiple times a day. What can I do quickly? What can I do in 3 to 5 minutes that's going to bring me back into that focused, powerful state so I can win? And then the final habit is upgrade. Hey, your best yesterday isn't going to suffice today. The world is becoming more complex. The challenges are becoming greater. The opportunities are becoming greater. And I need to, as a mindset mastery student, develop a growth mindset. It's critical, my challenge and why we're doing these Mindset Mondays, for those of you guys who are here religiously, and we're getting this really cool tribe going on. I can't be the same person 3 months from now that I am today. I need to continue to grow, to expand, to become more. Because when you and I and our teams become more, everyone wins. And here's kind of a last thought as we get ready to wrap up. And I'm so grateful for you guys. And I think this is a really cool way. So here's a fun thing. I love doing these Mindful Mondays because they get me focused. They elevate me. Here's a belief that mindset masters really embody. Regardless of how bad a day you're having or how bad a week you're having, when you serve another person, you feel better. When you take your focus off of your problems and your challenges, and we all have them, and you say, I'm going to go out, I'm going to help this individual. I'm going to go help my team member. I'm going to go serve and support this. When you elevate another person, you are elevated. This is what energy is all about. When we hurt another person, we become diminished. And so really think about it. And as you, if you're a team leader, if you're running an organization, I strongly recommend that you reach out to us. And I'm putting together a really, really cool starter kit that you guys will have, where we actually have some of our tools and exercises from our rally program. And that I'm going to give that to you guys for free, but it's going to be a day or two before that's up. In the meantime, reach out. If you want to have a conversation with us on how we can support you and your organization, I'm always available, because I know teams are suffering. I know teams are facing probably the most challenging economy, which is going to get worse than we've seen in many people's lifetimes. It doesn't mean you have to lose, and it doesn't mean you have to suffer. In fact, you can learn how to thrive. I want to kind of part with one of my favorite Japanese proverbs. The hotter the flame, the sharper the sword. Now, there's some big qualifications here. When you have support, when you have the right tools, when you have the right training, in difficult times, you can elevate. The forging of diamonds requires pressure. The forging of leaders requires pressure. The forging of teams requires pressure. And so as we take a breath and we get ready to jump into this brand new, exciting, beautiful, terrifying week, here are the takeaways. Here are your training focus. Number one, think narrow focus. Okay. If you want to have a great life, then you got to win today, and then win tomorrow, and then win the next. Don't worry about next week. Don't worry about next month. Win today. Bring that narrow focus in. And if you want to have a great day, win in the next hour. Like, break it into manageable chunks. Break it into, and then if you go sideways, take a time out. Walk around the building, do some yoga flows, reboot, stretch. So we're gonna focus on that narrow focus. We're gonna look at every day as the Super Bowl tonight. Set yourself up to win big tomorrow. And I'm really gonna challenge you guys. Train. Develop the skills, identify where the gaps are. And you know what we're going to do next week's training? It's all going to be about emotional intelligence, because emotional intelligence is it is the critical game-changing skill that you and your team need to stay calm in the midst of a storm, to really handle. And I've never met an adult human out there in the world that isn't dealing with some gnarly stuff, myself included. My emotional intelligence and my ATR are what allow me to not just survive, but to thrive in times of chaos and disruption. And that's where we're living. I love you guys so much. Thank you for being a part of our tribe. Thank you for being on this crazy adventure with me. Please, if you aren't following our company, 9Q Solutions, on LinkedIn, follow us right now. If you would like to have a discovery chat with me on how we can help really elevate everyone in your organization, just message me here on LinkedIn and share this. Share this with a team member. Share this with someone you care about. That is it. I will see you guys next week for episode 6 of Mindset Mastery, where we're going to really dive into emotional intelligence. So thank you guys for being a part of this family and team. I am William Poett, your humble servant, and go make some great happen.